Welcome, boys and girls, to another episode of Advanced Word Study. I am your host, Miss Amber, and this is your teacher, Miss Chelsea. In preparation for our lesson today, you will need a pencil and a piece of paper. Have fun!
Thanks, Miss Amber. So, boys and girls, we've been learning how to read and write multisyllabic words. Remember, a multisyllabic word is a word with multiple syllables, and every syllable has one vowel sound. So the focus of our lesson today is on consonant LE syllables. I'm going to add that to our anchor chart. A consonant LE syllable is a final separate syllable, and it's consonant followed by the letters LE. So I want us to look at my visual right here. I see a plus sign and an LE. They're sticking together at the end of a word, and a consonant will be in the front of that. So there'll be a consonant plus my LE. So let's add that right here so that we can remember when we start to work with some words we don't know how to read. I want to do a word for you before you help me. So let's look at my anchor chart right here that has my words. We're going to use the 6 syllabication steps we've been working with, but we may have to change things up just a little bit because of our consonant LE syllable. So let's look at my word. My first step normally tells me to label the first 2 vowels. But before I do that, I'm going to notice something at the end of my word. I see a consonant D followed by an LE. We just learned that a consonant LE is a final separate syllable. So this chunk of the word is going to be a syllable by itself. So I'm going to circle it, and I'm going to put a C plus LE because DLE is my consonant plus LE. And now I can work through some of my other steps to identify this syllable, okay? All right, it's a little tricky, but we're going to catch on together. So the first thing I normally do is identify my vowels. So since I've already circled my consonant LE, I'm going to look at this part of the word for a vowel. And I see vowel I, so I'm going to label it with a V, but I don't see another vowel after that. So I can't find 2 vowels. My next step tells me to draw a bridge to connect the vowels. Well, since I only have 1 vowel identified in this word part, I don't have a bridge to draw. Step 3 tells me to label the consonants on the bridge. Well, I don't have a bridge, so I'm not going to label any consonants, but I am going to notice something following this vowel. This vowel is followed by consonant N. I need to keep that in mind. Step 4 says divide using the pattern you notice. Well, I don't necessarily see a pattern because I don't have a bridge. But we already discussed that this part of my word is a final separate syllable. So I'm going to divide my word in front of that final separate syllable, consonant LE. So this will be my first syllable, and this will be my second syllable. I just wasn't able to use my bridge or my pattern to help me determine that. Now we're going to look at this part of my word. Step 5 says identify the syllable types for each part and then label them. So first thing we're going to do right here is identify what syllable type this is. Now remember, I said we have to look behind my vowel, and that's followed by a consonant. So what syllable type have we been learning about that the vowel is followed by a consonant? Let's move to my anchor chart. This first one right here says ends in 1 or more consonant. Those are closed syllables. So this word part ends in a consonant. So this syllable is going to be closed, which means this vowel will make a short vowel sound. Okay? And we already identified this syllable as consonant LE. Let's see if we can do the next part. Read each syllable and blend the word. In, dwin, dull, dull, dwin, dull, dwindle. Very good. I put both pieces together and I found my word was dwindle. Now I know that was tricky and a little different than we've been doing it, but let's see if you can help me do the next one. Are you ready? Get your paper and pencil out and write this word down for me. All right. Once you have your word, I want you to look at the whole word. And what do you notice about it? I noticed that too. It ends with our consonant LE. Very good. And what do we know we need to do with that final separate chunk of our word? We're going to circle it and we're going to label it C plus LE. Very good. This is going to be our consonant LE syllable. Now we can work with this part of our word using our regular syllabication steps. So let's start with step 1. It tells me to do what? Label the first 2 vowels. So I see E and another E. So let's label those with V's. What do we need to do next? That's right. We'll draw a bridge to connect those vowels. Beautiful. What do we do next? Step 3 tells me to label the consonants on my bridge. So what consonants do you see on my bridge right here? Very good. I just see consonant S. So I'll label that with a C. Okay. Now we're going to divide using the pattern we notice. Remember, our pattern is found on the bridge. So what pattern do you notice? Good. V, C, V. And we have 2 division charts down here that help us identify where to split that. I'm always going to start with this one. Let's try it first, and I'll use a different marker just in case we have to go back. So we're going to divide right here before the consonant. So I'll draw a dotted line in case we have to try pattern 2. All righty. Step 5 says to identify the syllable types and label each part. So let's look at the first syllable. What do you notice? It ends in a vowel that's spelled with 1 letter. So let's look back at our anchor chart. Closed syllables are going to end in consonants. Now you just told me it ends in a what? That's right, a vowel, and it's spelled with just 1 E. So let's keep going. Open syllables end in a vowel, okay? They make a long sound, okay? And they're spelled with 1 vowel letter. So I think this part of our word is an open syllable. Very good. Let's put OP up there. All right. Now let's look at this next section. We've already identified our final separate syllable here, so we're going to draw a line to make sure that stays separate. So now I'm going to focus on this section of my word. What do you notice about that syllable? That's right. Consonant M follows our vowel E. So what type of syllable would this be? Very good. Closed, because that vowel is going to make a short sound. Awesome. Okay, so our last step tells us to read each syllable and blend the whole word. So let's try to do that together. I'll help guide you. R, E, re, s, m, sim, b, ol, bol. Resemble. Resemble. Very good reading. That was awesome. And a 3-syllable word. I'm so proud. Do you think you could do this again? I do too. Let's try another one. Will you write this word on your paper? All right. Let's start by looking at our whole word and what we notice. That's right. You see an L-E at the end, and right before that you see a consonant. And what did we just learn? Yes, that's a consonant L-E syllable, the final separate syllable at the end. So I'm going to circle it to make sure it stays separate. And I'm going to label it with C plus L-E so we can remember. Good job. All right, so let's start back up at the top at our steps just to make sure. What's the first thing we normally do? Very good. Identify the first two vowels. Now remember, this part of our word is separate, so we only see one vowel. We're going to underline it and put a V. Since we only identified one vowel, can we draw a bridge? No. Can we label the consonants on the bridge? No. Can we divide using the pattern we notice? Not really, because there's no pattern on our bridge. So what do we need to go ahead and do now? That's right. We want to go ahead and draw a line to make sure our final separate syllable, consonant L-E, stays separate. And then we're going to focus on this part of our word. So let's identify this syllable type and label it. So what do you notice about the beginning of my word? That's right. It ends in a vowel. And it's also spelled with one vowel letter. So what kind of sound is that A going to make? Yes, a long sound. And what kind of syllable do we call that? Great job. Open. So I'm going to label it with O-P. Our last step tells us to read each syllable and blend the whole word. Do you think you can do it? Okay, I want you to guide me. So we're going to start here, and I want you to blend and read, and then I'll follow you. A, fe, b, bull, bull, fe, bull. Fable. Great reading. Y'all have probably talked about that genre before. Okay, I think we should do one more. Do you think you're ready? Me too. Write this final word on your paper. All right. Now what do we want to do first? Let's look at the whole word and see if there's anything we notice about it. What do you notice about our whole word? That's right. It ends in a consonant L-E. So in order to keep that separate, we're going to go ahead and circle it and label it consonant L-E. Good job. Now again, the next thing we would normally do is identify the first two vowels. But I only see one that's not already circled. So let's identify our U. What do you notice that's after the U? An R. I know that's important. Let's look back at our anchor chart. R controlled is a combination of a vowel followed by an R. So is this a vowel followed by an R? Yes. So we're going to underline this whole chunk because this is what we call bossy R. That R is going to control the sound that that vowel makes, and it'll say Very good. Let's put a V under that whole chunk. So what did we really just do? That's right. But don't tell that we already identified the syllable. We're going to keep going. Okay, can we draw a bridge? No. Can we label our consonants on the bridge? No. We don't have a pattern, so what's the next thing that naturally we would do? Identify the syllable types. So I'm going to go ahead and draw a line right here to make sure I keep my consonant LE separate, and I'm going to look at this section. And you guys just told me that this UR right here, that's a bossy R or an R control, because this R is going to control the sound that that vowel makes. So what is this syllable going to be called? That's right, bossy R or R controlled, so let's write BR up there. Great job. I'm so glad you remembered that from last time. I almost forgot. Our last step says to read each syllable and blend the word. So let's try to read each word part and blend it together. Are you ready? Okay. Z, zer. D, dol. Zerdle. Zerdle. Huh. Does that sound like a word you've heard before? Zerdle. Me neither. I think that's one of our nonsense words. But that's okay. Because we followed our steps, we were still able to read it. Great job. Now, I want us to take some time together to practice spelling multisyllabic words that have this consonant LE pattern we've been talking about. So I'm going to move to this section of my chart. I want you to just watch me as I help you spell, and then you'll help me. So our first word is bubble. Can you say that? Bubble. Let's count the syllables we hear in bubble. Bub, bull. I hear 2 syllables. So I'm going to draw 2 lines to represent, oh no, let me get my blue marker back. I'm going to draw 2 lines to represent each word part, okay? My first syllable was bub. How would I spell bub? Let me count my sounds. B, b. B, All right. The second syllable was bull. Bull. Let me count my sounds. B, bull. L. That's right. I heard someone say it. We've been talking about consonant plus LE. So that LE sticks together. Remember our visual? They're holding hands. And even though we don't hear that E make his own sound, they're partners. And they stick together when followed by that consonant at the end of a word. So let's put our word together. Bub, bull. And my word is bubble. Do you think you could try with me? I think so too. So get your pencil and paper back out and let's try another word. Our word is sparkle. Can you say sparkle? Good. Can you count the syllables you hear in the word sparkle? Sparkle. Good. How many syllables did you hear? 2. So how many lines will we draw? That's right. We'll draw 2 lines to represent each word part. So let's go back to the first part. What was the first syllable? Spar. Spar. How would we spell that? Okay, good. Let's count those sounds first. S-p-r. Now remember I said that every syllable has to have a vowel. So can we just write the letter R? Because that's kind of what I heard. S-p-r. Right, we have to have a vowel right here. So what might we put there? Very good. If we go back to our R controls, remember that R sometimes controls the sound that the vowel makes. And we know that AR together makes the R sound. Awesome job. So our first syllable was spar. Good. Our second syllable was cool. Can you say that? Cool. All right, let's count the sounds. Cool. Okay. How would we spell that? Cool. Very good. Make sure we include the E because they're buddies, remember? They're sticking together in this final separate syllable. So let's put our word together. When we put each syllable together, our word is sparkle. I love to sparkle. Very good. I think you should practice with me on another word. Let's try the next one. Our word is bridle. Can you say that? Good. Let's count the syllables we hear in the word bridle. Good. So how many lines do we need to draw? 2 for each word part. What was the first syllable? Yeah, bri, bri. Count the sounds you hear and write the word. I. Good. The next part of our word was dull, dull. What do you hear there? Dull. Okay. Very good. Keeping our LE together. Awesome. So I want you to put that word together and read it to me. Bridle. Great job. I am so impressed with your spelling. I want to try just one more before we go. Our last word is ramble. Can you say ramble? Count the syllables you hear in the word ramble. Good. How many lines should we draw? 2 for each word part. The first syllable was ram. What sounds do you hear? Let's write those. Good. Our second syllable was bull, ram, bull. What sounds do we hear? We hear that b, oh, and we keep that LE together. Great job. Can you write my whole word and read it to me? Ramble, ramble. I tend to ramble sometimes when I get nervous. That means talk a lot. Great job, boys and girls. Let's review really quickly. So a consonant LE syllable is a final separate syllable, and the consonant is followed by the letters LE. Let's add our first word, dwindle, so we can remember that. We circled our consonant LE because this is a final separate syllable, and we worked through the first part. Remember, our LE, they stick together. I can't wait to apply our new knowledge next time when reading a text.
Thank you, Miss Chelsea, and thank you, boys and girls, for your participation in our lesson today. We can't wait to see you again. Bye.